Awaken the Italians with AC Milan. We're back. It's the 31st of May 2015, and we've got the live commentary away at Udinese today. And it's a much tastier one than probably previous thought, considering we've finally, and I stress finally, gone on a good run in this series, like a really good run. Probably down to a change in system tactically. I decided straight after the last live commentary I was just going to change it up, see if we could do something different for the last 8 games of the season or whatever it was, and it looks to have worked a bit of a treat so far. There are a few flaws in the tactic, but nothing that can't be sorted out. I feel it's a better base than the one we had previously. So I think I'll show that first because that's really been the center of our success. And it's this formation now. It's a bit odd. It's a bit I suppose it's quite similar to a system that Louis van Gaal would operate, I think, in real life with Man U. Also, I think Steve Bruce sometimes uses it at Hull. It's the three centre backs, which is fantastic because Alex and Zabata have had good seasons all round, and we've been able to use Munoz a bit more, and he's a very solid centre back as well. And finally, we're kind of getting use of him, considering he did come in for 6 million. Like, we needed to get a bit of more, or a bit of game time out of him, and we finally have, and he's really repaying me with some solid performances. We have two wing backs, both on complete wing back, which really means they're wingers, possibly winger support. I'm not sure exactly, but like they bomb up the line because they're giving all the width in this tactic, and they've got to bomb up, and we've got two handy players there in Desquiglio and Armera too. Decent enough wing backs as it was, so it wasn't actually much of a change, and I think it's actually enhanced both of their games, giving them more freedom to go marching on forward. We then got the two central midfielders, one on the ball wing midfielder defend, which is really slotting into where possibly a defensive midfielder would be. So he's kind of dropping into this space as the box to box is, as a box to box really entails, is going from box to box. So he's up and down. Trequartista, I think the Trequartista alongside the deep line forward support actually really works because it seems to confuse teams a little bit, because these two seem to get kind of mixed up within each other, which is a kind of causes havoc for marking purposes for the opposition. So that usually means actually the Trequartista is usually further up the field in the deep line forward support, but it does create a bit of havoc. And then we've got the poacher, of course, which has been Al Shawari, who's actually been much better in this little spell, finally getting a run of goals. And he's been quite good, but playing in that poacher role, which I think is suiting him in this kind of two-man attack, plus the attacking midfield centre. So there's a lot of kind of creativity coming for him, and he's really thriving off it. The last time you guys saw me, I was pretty angry. So I'm sorry about that, but it was a difficult time. We were going through a tricky phase. We lost 1-0 at home to Roma in the Italian Cup semi-final, second leg, which was a bit of a kick in the teeth. Then, as I said, we immediately changed around the tactic, and we travelled to Parma, but we did lose 3-2 in our first game with this tactic. But this was a bit of a piss take, if you're asking me. The one thing I've realised that the tactic doesn't really hasn't really catered for, because I decided this time to be a little bit adventurous and kind of do my own set piece stuff, but obviously I've got it completely wrong, and the wrong people are marking the wrong men, and space is kind of available, and in this game Parma, all three of their goals came from corners. Massimo Gobbi, Nicolo Lolli and Felipe all scoring from corners. Before the 30th minute, so it was 3-0 after 30 minutes. Nigel de Jong did strike back in the 36th minute, but then proceeded to get himself sent off with a second book ball in the 56th. Suzuki Honda did make it 3-2 in the 69th minute, but we couldn't just kind of force a draw over the line. I think this was the game with the ridiculous amount of clear-cut chances. So like we really, it was brighter signs that we conceded or we created even 8 clear-cut chances, which I think was excellent. Well, it wasn't excellent because we only took 2 of them, but I don't think even one of the goals was a clear-cut chance. So I think it was 1 out of 8. So that wasn't good, but at least we were creating a lot more and we looked a lot more dangerous. Unfortunately, the result wasn't great, but nonetheless, I thought it was a positive sign, so I thought I'd pursue with the tactic, and it's really kind of paid me back in the end. The next game we played was at home to Palermo. But you still got to realise we were on a really bad run of form going into this game. So to pick up a 2-1 win was really a priceless victory. Stefan El started his kind of good bit of form with a goal in the 38th minute for Andrea Bellotti equalised in the 71st minute. I believe this was also a corner, and I'm not taking the piss. Like I really do think it was a corner, if I remember correctly. But this time out, Marco van Ginkel managed to rock up in the 91st minute with a deflected effort that managed to creep its way into the corner and give us a priceless 2-1 win and a real confidence booster. Another good performance, much better performance, 3 clear-cut chances, 3 half chances, 52% of the ball, but we just looked a lot more efficient with the ball, and we didn't look to be kind of dallying around a bit like we've been doing previous in the season. Then travelled to Chievo, and we finally recorded for the first time this year scoring more than 2 goals in a game. And it was an excellent performance, although Chievo are last, so I don't know how much you can read into it. Giacomo Bonaventura, who's really excelling in this trequartista role, opened the scoring in the 2nd minute. El Shawari made it 2-0 in the 19th. Dejan Lazarevich made it 2-1 in the 42nd, and then he scored again in the 50th. I think only one of the 2 was from a corner, but one of the 2 was nonetheless, and it was 2 apiece. Bonaventura almost immediately made it 3-2 back to us with a goal in the 53rd minute before El Shawari confirmed the points in the 93rd minute with a strike to give him a brace, give Bonaventura a brace, give us 4 goals, and give us a nice comfortable win. 3 clear-cut chances each in this game actually, but we had much more of the ball and a fair few more shots, double their shots actually. But a good win nonetheless, and finally a few goals. And we kind of continued on this good form with a 3-0 win at home to Lazio. Now this was a game that I really felt like this is the results that we finally got from these sort of games that I've been kind of expecting all year, but haven't really got rewarded with the results from our team. Like in games previous in the season, we would be scraping this game 1-0. This time round, we smashed Lazio 3-0, and it was extremely satisfying. Guillermo Bonaventura made it 1-0 in the 15th minute. For El Shawari made it 2 in the 69th, and Bonaventura scored a minute after in the 70th minute to give us a 3-0 win. As you can see here, absolute domination. Well, no, 2 clear-cut chances each, I suppose. We had 5 clear-cut chances to the 0, 61% of the ball, and 23 shots compared to their 7, and hit the woodwork twice. So it was comprehensive. Bonaventura getting his 2nd man of the match in a row with a 2nd match in a row with an average rating of 9. Then travelled to Genoa, which I thought was actually going to be an extremely tricky game. But we managed again to play very well, and we got a 3-1 win out of it. Jeremy Menez, who I have to say has been a very, very big disappointment this year, but he managed to pipe up with the goal in the 19th minute. But Franco Musis equalised from the kickoff, scoring in the 20th minute, which was highly frustrating. But then the real turning point of the game came when Stefano Sturaro got a straight red on the stroke of half time, which meant they went into half time. It was 1 apiece, but they were down to 10, and that really gave us the advantage in the second half, and we took it. We took it very well. Bonaventura scoring again in the 66th minute, and El Shawari scoring again in the 70th minute. The only little thing for this game was Desciglio did pick up an injury, but it wasn't long term whatsoever. This game actually didn't go really in our favour. Well, we had 5 clear-cut chances compared to their 0, but they had 5 half chances compared to their 0, but they had 5 clear-cut chances to our 3. But all 3 of ours ended in the back of the net, which was good. Finally, some well, you know what I mean, being clinical in front of goal. Finally has happened kind of recently, as you can see with the goals being scored. Then the big one. We played at home to at home to Inter Milan in the Milan derby. Huge game, and we came out of it with a 3-1 win and an absolute thumping as well to go with it. El Jawari opened the scoring in the 11th minute. Hugo, no, when did Campagnaro get sent off? No, sorry, Campagnaro. Yeah, sorry, what am I thinking? He got a straight red after just 8 minutes, and that really kind of set the game up for us, made it a lot easier for us, I suppose. El Jawari, as I said, gave us the lead in the 11th minute before Bonaventura made it 2 in the 61st. Kovacic did make it a little bit of a squeaky bum time with a goal in the 66th minute, but El Jawari confirmed the points in the 89th minute and a really solid 3-1 win to give us 4 points out of 6 in the Milan derbies this year, which is very pleasing. Again, more onslaught, 5 clear-cut chances again, showing that we're creating just so much more with this new tactic and we're managing to score because of it. Unfortunately, though, this wasn't the case when we travelled to Torino away from home, where we suffered a really disappointing 0-0 draw. And come at the end of today's live commentary, we mightn't know how big that might end up for us, dropping points here, because we really should have won. Not much happened, as you can see, a fair amount of booking, 7 yellow cards in all, 4 to us, 3 for them. I suppose we should just go straight to the match stats, because nothing much happened actually. We didn't create in this game, only 1 half chance throughout the game. We did hit the woodwork twice, one of them was from a cross, one of them was El Jawari, very late on I think, had a header, which I think was our 1 half chance, which hit the bar. But we didn't create enough with the possession we had, 64% of the ball and 13 shots, but we didn't create anything, and probably 0-0 was a fair enough result in the end. But then we played the big game at home to Napoli in our the penultimate game of the season, and we managed to win it 1-0. Not the most convincing win, but against Napoli, I don't think you're ever going to get a convincing win, especially with the teams as they are at the moment. Minaz scoring the only goal of the game, his first goal of the season. What a time to get it in the 42nd minute with a flick-on header at the front post. Alex did miss a penalty. I couldn't believe it in the 70th minute, because we got a penalty. I was thinking, Alex, he doesn't miss them, it's 2-0. But he did miss it. And that was disappointing, but nonetheless, we managed to keep hold of the victory. 5 clear-cut chances again, creating 5 clear-cut chances against a team like Napoli is quite impressive. The fact that we could only convert 1, that can be looked into, I suppose. But I think as long as we're creating the chances, I think we'll begin to score the goals. Well, this late surge has really given us a little bit of a try for the Champions League, and I'll show you now going into the table. Going into the last game of the season here, we sit in 4th place still. Juventus have won the title with 84 points going into their last game, only losing even 3 games this year and drawing 9, winning 25. Roma with a good effort in 2nd. They're going to finish up with 77 maximum. They've already got 74 on the board, and also Napoli both on 68 with exactly the same record, which is actually quite hard to believe. 20 wins, 8 draws, 9 defeats. And our head-to-heads, because I was looking into it, our head-to-heads, we won 1-0, of course, in the penultimate game of the season, but they won 1-0. We lost 1-0 to them away from home in the middle of the season. So it's completely level, which means it's down to then goal difference, which Napoli are ahead of. But if we win today and Napoli slip up, and I'll show you now, they might actually slip up because they're at home to Juventus. So this is they really started slipping up now. To be fair, it's not an easy run in. Roma away, Sampdoria at home, Milan away, and Juventus at home. But nonetheless, they really have slipped up. Probably because Gargano and people like Guzman and Henrique are all out injured. That's not helping them, I suppose. I'm really hoping though that Juventus don't take it easy on them, because we could do with Napoli losing, and that would mean we'd only need a draw, and we might snatch that Champions League spot from right underneath them. But if Napoli win, we will not get the Champions League. We're guaranteed Europa League football though, which is, I suppose, good. we look at our individual player stats, the top scorer now is finally a striker, and it's Stefan Al-Shawari with 11 goals. He's really started to impress. Unfortunately, that means he's attracted interest from Roma and Liverpool. Now, I definitely won't be selling him to Roma. Depends what Liverpool come in with. Bonaventura now has gone up to 9 goals, which is also very impressive. The 25-year-old has really turned it on again. Roma and Spurs this time interested. He's only on 28 grand a week though, so he's on pittance really. Alex has still got 9, Honda 6. I think I showed you Torres' injury in the last game. Yeah, he won't play for the club again. Provider, Bonaventura with 10. Menez has gone up to 6. Van Ginkel's also got 6. Honda, Armero, and Desciglio on 4 apiece. And average rating wise, it's Bonera, who's only actually played 1 game, so we won't count him. Bonaventura, 7.16. Desciglio, 7.01. And Alex, 7. Zabata, 6.97. And De Jong, 6.94. De Jong is suspended for this game. We have a look at some of the outs, because there are a few outs. Agassi's out, Torres is out, of course. Diego Lopez is carrying a knock, but he's going to play today because Christian Abati, or Abiati even, our backup keeper, he's struggling as well. So he's only on 75% as well, or something like that. So I suppose it's better to play an unfit Lopez, I think, than an unfit Abiati. So I suppose we should get into today's game. I don't think there's anything more to cover as we play Udinese, who are 6th in the league. So they're, I think, still playing or trying to push for Europa League. We do have Lopez in goal, back four of Armero, Munoz, Alex, Sabata, and Desciglio. Montalivo and Van Ginkel. Montalivo having to cover for De Jong today. Bonaventura playing off Pizzini and Al-Shawari. It's been fairly like that. Like that team, apart from, I suppose, De Jong in for Montalivo, that team has been quite set for the last while, just because we've been in good form, and like we're finally in good form, and I suppose it's just right kind of giving those games in the team because they deserve them. And I suppose the continuity is really helping us alongside the guys constantly learning the new tactic. It's really quite helping them. And hopefully it will pay off here. They're trying to encourage me to play a bit more direct, but I think in the long term we will want to be playing a bit more possession based, so I won't change that. And we won't constantly be looking. We'll probably look at half time to see what Napoli are up to. It might come up here. I think I might have still latest scores coming up. So if something does happen, as Miria should have probably scored, Di Natale decides not to go in for the fault. Well, he does, but he doesn't go in for the shot as Armero has to just about get that clear. We haven't. We've already conceded a clear-cut chance here. We've had plenty of the ball, but we're not creating too much, which is a little worrying. I hope as the game goes on and with this possession-based football that we can eventually break them down. Desciglio, please, go on. Pizzini, Bonaventura. Oh, no, that's a chance as well. I hate those little chances because I know, are they really clear-cut? I don't know. But it's a good block nonetheless, and it stays at 0-0. The only little worry I have is that we've only scored 1 goal in our last 2 games, and despite actually playing much more attacking, getting much more goals, Pizzini gets a penalty. Alex, can he make it 10 for the season? Let's please hope so. He did miss in last week's game against Napoli. Let's hope he doesn't repeat the dose. Let's hope he nets this. Alex scores it when it counts. Alex slots it home, and as you can see, we've moved up to 3rd place. That obviously indicates, I think, that Napoli are still drawing with Juventus. So fair play to them for keeping that up. Let's really hope they don't nick a goal, though. Here's Munoz, Desciglio. Oh, they have as well. Victor Abarbo has scored. And that looks like it's going to be a little bit of a turn up for the books for Napoli. So we've got to just try and get our job done now and hope that Juventus can mount a charge. Bonaventura here, he could be in just from Diego Lopez's long ball. I don't think that was the critical chance, though. Van Ginkel, Montalivo, we still got the ball here. Finds Armero, who can run down this left-hand side and whip one in, hopefully. And he does so. And Al Shawari comes to the front post and he hits the front post with a glancing header. Probably should have scored, maybe so, but nonetheless, disappointing for him to miss. Montalivo now. We've got another penalty. Bubnic has conceded a penalty. I don't know what that was for. It might have been actually handball, but I really couldn't tell. Alex could make it 2 penalties for him, 2 penalties for Milan, and 2-0 to Milan. If he can convert this, and he does so with conviction. The opposite corner this time round, and we've gotten 2 slices of luck. I suppose penalties I always think are a bit lucky. Come on, Juventus. They've only lost 3 games this year and they're losing 2-0 to Napoli. That really is a sickener. Nonetheless, though, I'll be very happy with the Europa League group stage, and also I'm just very happy with this end to the season in general. I think it's been a really solid end of the season and gives me hope going into the new season. As I say that, I will have to inform you guys, I've made another, I think it's another 2 since the last episode of those pre-contract agreements for Bosmans. So you'll get to see those, I think, just after this game. Here's Van Ginkel. Desquiglio. Pazzini. Misses out. Munoz. Armero. Yeah, we do need to strengthen the striker department. There's no ifs or buts about it. Al Shawari will do fine, but Torres will go back to Chelsea. And also Pazzini. I don't see any future with him. I think he's still contracted to the club, but he's hopeless. As Juventus get one back. Come on, Juventus. For once, I'm cheering you on to win in this save. Because the one time you're relying on them, they don't turn up, which is just a pain in the arse. Typical FM, though, for it. Anyway, as I said, 3-1. You're taking the piss out of me. So Muriel could be in. It's a good block from number 17. I think that may be Zapata or Munoz. I don't know. That's not Alex. Muriel. No good this time, right? 7. Here's Munoz. So it must be Zapata, I think. Al Shawari burns a man. Burns another. Good save by Scouffet. He's going to be quite good, I think, on this year's game, but he costs a heap of money to get. But we do need to, I'm kind of digressing here, but we really do need to strengthen the striker department because, like, on the whole, we haven't scored enough goals this year. And I do think, well, for a bit of it, we weren't playing the right sort of football, I think, but also, like, even with this new tactic, we have created an awful lot of clear-cut chances, but have not converted an awful lot of them, which is really quite disappointing. Here's Alex now finds Diego Lopez. Can we build from the back here? Lopez has been actually quite good. Like, you wouldn't really have thought he was carrying a knock in this game, although he hasn't really been asked to do much. Here's Bonaventura, finds El Shawari. Here's Pazzini. Can he wrap up with a goal? For fuck's sake, can he not even score? Our 7th clear-cut chance of the game. We've only converted 2 of them. Both of them were penalties. We're going to take off Ashwari and bring on Hachim Mastor to give him a game and give Joel Campbell a run out instead of Pazzini. Campbell hasn't actually been that much of a influential signing. I do still think it was a probably decent guy to just get on as a rotation loan deal. And I think it's worked okay. He hasn't been very good, but nonetheless, he's kind of done the job we've asked him to do. It looks like we're going to come out of this game with a 2-0 win, but unfortunately, we know that it's not going to be enough. Juventus have not turned up and have lost quite convincingly as well. It's not just like a 1-0 defeat or something, but quite convincingly to Napoli 3-1. Conceding 3 goals in the process, which for them is extremely rare. As Diego Lopez makes sure that, no, it's not done yet. Pinzi, Badu, Widmer, Guilherme, Widmer, oh no, Gabriel Silva, Di Natale, It's away, and the defence have confirmed that they're going to get another clean sheet for today's performance. Solid stuff from the defence this year. That's really one thing you can write home about. We've been extremely solid at the back. And this 2-0 win is quite positive. Unfortunately, we couldn't take any of our open play chance. We had to rely on the penalties, which is disappointing. We will finish in the Europa League group stage spots, though, which is what we were asked to do by the board, and we delivered up to a certain extent. I would have loved to have just nicked that Champions League spot, but it wasn't to be. In terms of the overall team statistics, if we go into the Serie A now and look at team statistics, average attendance, I think we went through this in the last episode, but 4th, 17th, so that's not good. Possession wise, we're up in 3rd, 53% of the ball, usually. Conceded will be good. Second best defence. See from corners. Of course we're top. There we go. That's the thing. 9 of our 36 goals or something. Yeah. So a quarter of our goals have been conceded from corners. What else could we say? Net transfer spend. Ooh, we're up there. 6 million. It's probably because we didn't sell anybody, or didn't sell very many. And salary per annum, we're up there in 3rd. I'll be looking to shave a lot of that off, though, because there's a lot of dead wood, I think, on high wages in this squad. Anyway, as I was saying, to just the 2 guys coming in, one of them I actually alluded to in the last episode that I might look into it. It's Nicola Lili, I think, who's on loan at Cesena from Juventus. He hasn't had a great season. Well, he's had 8 clean sheets, I suppose, for a team like Cesena is actually a decent enough effort. He's going to come in and be our backup keeper because Abbiati is going to be let go on a free transfer, which might anger the fans, but he is 38 years old. This guy's only 22. Italian, I thought he's good. I think sometimes he turns into a decent enough keeper, I think. So let's pray for that. And the other one, a little one, more kind of that I know about, is Danny Ings is going to come in. And I'm not sure how Danny Ings is going to fare. Hopefully he can do a decent job. He looks a very good player. He's had a good season in the Premier League in the game, with 13 and 37, helping Burnley stay up. We'll have a look at the Premier League table for all that are interested. Man U won it, Arsenal 2nd, Man City and Chelsea also getting Champions League spots. Leicester, West Ham and Palace going down. But anyway, I really hope he can kind of cut it in the Serie A. He does look good. He is going to give us striker options at least. He's going to be rotation, if not a first team player. Depends on who else we might bring in. Financially, I'm not sure how much we'll get because we're 3 million in debt, but we might make a bit of money. So we might get a little bit of money to spend. I doubt too much though. So we might have to go in for shrewd signings, which I think we've got in terms of these 4 already coming in. Anyway, this has been a fairly long episode. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make slightly longer episodes these days. Seems to be more of a trend. So I hope you guys like this kind of slightly new format, slightly more in detail and in-depth format, especially for this series. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. I'll see you guys later.